name is Shabrielle, and I am talking to Out of the Box, describe the creation of Marvin. And Marvin was inspired by a genuine Aaliyah Timbaland song called Final Warning. It's one of my favorite tracks ever. I sampled an old phone booth that I found with some friends when we were hiking. There's a spot outside of Vegas called Mount Charleston, and there's like a random phone booth that like sort of still works there. And I just recorded some of the sounds that the phone booth was making and turned that into a beat. But lyrically, this song was inspired by just like a diabolical crush that I had. So it was just meant to be like a fun, exciting, flirty, cute song. But there are also elements of just like yearning and like crazy passion. Because I can't just like be one way or the other. Like there has to be a mix of just cute and also diabolical. Okay, what artists inspire you to create? The artists that inspire me to create are probably the artists that I've just loved for my entire life. Prince and Stevie Wonder, Janet Jackson, producer-wise, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. Yeah, these are the artists that I really love. But I also have artists that kind of are not necessarily in those genres and aren't necessarily artists that I've grew up listening to, but like I love Fiona Apple, which I think is where I get some of my lyric inspiration from. So it's like this foundation of funk and soul and R&B with this sprinkling of this like sort of dark feminine power inspired by Fiona Apple. So it's an interesting mix. It's an interesting mix for sure, but those are the artists that inspire me. So my plan for 2025 is to continue to release a couple more singles, and in the springtime I'll be releasing the full album. So I've been sprinkling singles from the album. I've been releasing singles from the album for the past couple months. Well, actually for the past year, because the first single was Blame It On Me, which I released last November. And I'm just continuing on with the single releasing until I release the album in the spring. And I'm hoping to start playing live again because I have not played a show in 4 years. So I'm hoping to come back swinging with the live set again. I have always loved music, and I've always been interested in playing music. And I always knew that I was going to be a singer. It was something that I would like pretend to do when I was a kid. Just like singing along to Britney Spears, who is another artist that really inspires me. I love Britney, and the producers that she's worked with are just some of my favorite producers of all time. And but I grew up as a dancer, so since I was 3 years old up until I graduated high school, I was a dancer. And I finally actually started to seriously make music in high school. When I started, I went to a performing arts school, and I started to collaborate with some of the jazz musicians, some of the like at this incredible performing arts high school that we went to. And I started to collaborate with some of the jazz musicians, and we started playing live and writing music and recording when I was only 17 years old. But yeah, my dad was a musician, and So I always had this like really cool pathway that I could go down. And yeah, but I always knew that I wanted to do it. I would describe my sound as, I mean, it's, like I said, that at its core, it's funk, it's soul, it's R&B, it's neo soul, it's alt R&B. But there's also just like this unexplainable weirdness to it that I just like have to, if it's feeling too on the nose, then I have to bend it in a way to just like to just make it weird. But yeah, I've always been pretty anti-genre, because it's hard to describe things that are just these beautiful creations. It's I mean, you know for sure with a name like Out of the Box, putting things into boxes is kind of, sometimes it takes the beauty away. But I know like what inspires me, and I know the genres that have inspired me, and I start from there. But yeah, it's, sometimes it's nice to just let the thing live without much of a title.